Alright guys, second video. Start with a couple of additional warm-up stuff. I know I shot that separate video for you last time, but let's just go through a couple of quick warm-up things. Active mobility, so not static stretching, these are actual movements. Get a little blood flowing, loosen up some of the tight muscles, tight spots you have. This one's called the world's greatest stretch. So you're just going to step forward with elbow, try to get down to your instep. The middle part of your foot there. You want to try to keep that back leg straight, and you want to think about lowering your hips. You don't want to bend your back. You want to keep yourself straight from your head, from the back of that heel, and just lower yourself by lowering your hips to the ground. Float a little bit out to the side. You get a stretch on the hip, that side of the glute. And then drop down. Keep this arm straight. Keep your chest up. Try to reach this arm through as far as you can to the side, so you get some of the rotational twist there. So just stretch, lift up your head, do that 3 times. Then you're gonna come up. This hand is even with this foot here. You're just gonna twist, stretch it back out a little, then come up. Stretch this hamstring into a lunge position. Step up, step forward, repeat on the other side. Rotate around, stretch your hamstring, lunge, up, down, and then repeat. So that's called the world's greatest stretch. Next one is get down to a squat position. Feet probably about hip width apart. I want to try to make sure you keep your toes pointed straight. You want to go forward, not too wide with your feet. And you want to think about really anchoring your feet on the ground. If you made a triangle, you'd have a dot behind your big toe, dot behind your pinky, a dot in your heel. And really that's the triangle. You want to think about all 3 of those spots being contacted to the ground and equally distributing your weight. Flex your foot so you get a good hard arch, so your foot is active. Those 3 points on the ground, and just get down to a squat position. And then from here, put this opposite arm against your knee. Try to open up your hips. Get this arm up. Stretch. Stretch. You want to try to get this arm. You don't want to turn yourself. You want to try to keep your hips and shoulders, so your hips squared away, and just turn. So a rotation from the top half. While you're down there, put both elbows against your knees, just kind of move around a little bit. It's good to stay in that squatting position. Another good one, backwards lunge. You're going to step back. This arm goes up against your knee. The opposite arm reaches over your head. Back into that lunge. Reach your arm up over your head. Back into that lunge. Reach your arm up over your head. You should feel that stretching all here. Hip flexor. And then the last one is, see, you can show it from the side. Just stretch out your calf. So think of it like a yoga pose, like a downward dog position. When you roll up on your toes, get your heel flat to the ground. Roll up on your toes, heel flat to the ground. You want to do 10 of those on each side. Switch legs. You can do both feet at once for another 10. And just stretch out your calf, your Achilles, hamstring. So with that world's greatest stretch, I'm going to walk forward, do about 5 on each side. The backwards lunge, open up, about 5 on each side. That squat, when you're down and open it up, same thing, about 5 on each side. If you're in that squat position, try to hold that for say 20 to 30 seconds. That should be, a good warm up, kind of get everything kind of loose, get the blood flowing. So the workout, I'm gonna do 5 more different dumbbell exercises. Let's run through them real quick. First one is just gonna be squat and press. So take the weights up to your shoulders. Make sure that the shoulder blades are pulled back, facing forward. Your hips are square, shoulders are square. Down in your squat position, press. Squat position, press. Same thing as those goblet squats last time. You want to think about going back. You activate that squat by sticking your butt back, chest up tall. You don't want to be rounded over. And then press. And when you press to the top, think about squeezing your glutes. So that's going to keep you back in a good supported position. Squeeze the glutes, that will keep you tight. Next one is rear elevated split squat. So with these, you see people do a single leg. You know, they probably think about, oh, you bend the knee, and that's how you're going to do this exercise, not much to it. I like to think about activate this movement with your butt. So rather than thinking about bending this knee, think about sticking your butt back. So your butt is going to stick to that wall behind me, and you're going to fold at your waist. So it's like this. And when you come up to the top, you straighten out your waist, squeeze the glute, squeeze your butt cheek on the side that your foot is on the ground. So rather than just kneel like this, think about really getting your butt back, up top, squeeze. 10 of those on each side. Simple curls, and then overhead extension. So that would be one exercise. Those two together, call that one. So curls, and then just overhead extension. The overhead extensions for your triceps. If you want, you can get a heavier dumbbell and do 2 hands at once, or a lighter dumbbell like I just did and do 2 at the same time. Next exercise is, I just lost my train. Oh, push-ups. So a couple different variations with push-ups. You can put the dumbbells down, just kind of use them as handles so that you're in a neutral grip. Neutral meaning the hands aren't turned, they're not supinated, they're not pronated, they're right in the middle, they're neutral. So you can use the dumbbells, just a good push-up position. Do 10 of those. If you want to make it more challenging, you got a bench or a chair, you have a stair, anything that's elevated, get your feet up on them. Do push-ups like that, or with your feet up, or feet on the ground. If you want to do a different variation or make it more challenging, hold the dumbbell just on either side so you're kind of a narrower grip. You want to think about drawing your body down between your elbows. Don't let your arms flare out. You keep your elbows tight. Keep your shoulder blades drawn in together in a good tight position. Just down, up. And when you're doing push-ups, you always want to think about remaining in a good position. Think about a plank. If you're up on your hands, on your elbows doing a plank, that's the position you want to hold in a push-up. So you want to get yourself in that plank position, and you never want to break that. So the entire time that you're doing the push-up, the entire time you're doing that movement, you're tight in that plank position. So that means your stomach's held tight, your back is not overly, bowed or stuck out like that. Your glutes are tight. Your legs should be straight. Everything just locked down in a good tight position. Do 10 of those. And the last one, so this is a little bit of a trickier movement than what we've been doing. So this is kind of graduate to this. So a clean. So if you think about a clean with a barbell, like a traditional Olympic lift, just a hand clean. So you have a bar, you load up, boom, like that. So it's going to be similar movement, only with the dumbbell. You're going to do one arm at a time. So again, you load this motion by your butt going back. Your butt goes back, it loads it up, and then you're going to pull. That's going to create all the momentum. People think of like a big jerk or a pull from a clean. That's not it. You want to generate it from your hips and from your butt. So your butt goes back, and when it comes forward, that's what's going to generate the momentum of this exercise. And at that point, you do the pull with your elbow to complete it up to the top. So down on the ground, up, all in one motion. Down to the ground, hips through. As your hips come through, the weight goes up. Eventually it's going to get to the top, and you get it in the catch. So it's all one motion. It's just do 10 of those on each side. So that's the next installment. Should be a good one. Have fun. Be safe. See you guys later.